Hello and welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house, not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Miller, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. It's so wonderful seeing you here, super duper James. Welcome into the live stream. Hello, Brian. Absolutely, it is a good day to win somewhere. Oh my gosh, these lines have been so slow moving today. So, of course, this is a live stream. I would love to hear what games you guys would like me to break down and analyze live on air. Just feel free to throw it in the chat anytime, and let's dive into it. Hey, Ken, welcome in. So nice seeing you here. Spencer, hello, how are you doing? Derek, good morning. It is so wonderful seeing all of you here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you are having a wonderful weekend so far, and let's make it even better with some winning wagers, right? Alrighty. Hello, Chuck Science. Welcome in. So I have my coffee here. It is so hot. Your girl kind of woke up a little late today, but that is okay. We're starting to stream on time, and I always like to do wake and bake a little bit. So I have my new strain here, pink champagne, because it's almost the New Year's, and you know I love to pop a bottle of champagne, celebrate, and yeah, I just have a feeling that 2026 is going to be a very big year. So I can't wait for it. I'm excited for the New Year's, and excited to celebrate with all of you. So feel free to sit back, relax, get your minds right to win some wagers. All right, you do not like the betting card today. That's what I'm hearing. What about the rest of you guys? Are there games that you're interested in? Anything you want me to break down and analyze? Let's just go over our current ROIs. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I decided to do a little double braid thing today. But I don't know, kind of makes me look like I'm gonna start yodeling or something, I'm also thinking. So I'm glad you guys like it. Just quick, easy hairstyle. So right now in college basketball, we're currently sitting with a 35.9% ROI. We've had a 70.8% win rate so far this season and 89 units played. In the NBA, 31.1% ROI on a 68.1% win rate with 72 units down so far. And NFL, we're sitting at a 27.9% ROI with a 62.5% win rate, 56 units played so far. And in the NHL, 25.5% ROI with a 60.4% win rate on 53 units played so far this season. So I love that. Over 25% ROIs across the board. That is a pretty good return. Hey Wayne, thank you. Oh no, not a yodel segment. Oh boy. All right. So let's just dive into some of these games. A lot of them are super tight to the number today. And you know, not a lot of movement so far, but of course, This is a live show. People are still waking up. Anything could happen. These lines could be moving and changing throughout the day. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna take a look, and if there are any games you want me to break down and analyze, just throw them in the chat. We'll discuss them. We'll talk about it, and we'll just see what's going on. All right. So right now, I mean, there are only really 2 games that I flagged. So, like I said, throw other ones in the chat. It's just, this has been tight lines across the board. And that's what I've noticed. You know, and the money's been a little bit tight too. So, starting off with the Cardinals versus Bengals game at 1 o'clock. I have been watching this total. This has been pretty interesting because it just keeps going up and up and up. And I do notice some pros on the over. So it opened up at 50.5. Then the total climbed up to 52.5, and it was climbing up against some initial under money. There was some level 1 under money initially, but that kind of died out a little bit, and right now it's sitting at 53.5 on some mixed money, but I do see a bit of sharp money on over, so I like that. I like seeing the sharp money on the over. That cannabis strain it's a good it's a good one. All right, so I think this over is looking pretty good here. If you're looking at the Cardinals Bengals game, I think this over is looking solid, just considering how the sportsbook is moving this line, and also considering how there is a bit of sharp money showing up here. I like to see both happening when the money and the sharps and the line is moving in the right direction. I like to see that. I do. So I would say as of right now, this is the first play on the board that I'm really starting to like. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like I feel super, super solid about it yet, but I would say right now I'm putting it in the action pile. I like it. I'm keeping my eye on it, and we're just going to make sure this line doesn't fall apart before 1 o'clock. If it just keeps, you know, staying at 53.5, or, you know, maybe it'll even tick upward from there. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Super Pro, welcome in. Happy holidays. How was all of your holidays, by the way? Did you have a good Christmas? Good Hanukkah? If you celebrate Kwanzaa? Feel free to let me know in the chat. My Christmas was so like nice and quiet. I really enjoyed it. Really, really peaceful. So that was nice. Ooh, Boxing Day. Let's talk about Steelers versus Browns. This is another 1 o'clock p.m. game. So this Browns spread has been looking pretty interesting. So it opened up at plus 5.5, and yes, I am looking at them as you know, underdogs. And I would say this is a little bit more of an action play right now, but it did open up Browns plus 5.5. Since then, this line has moved to plus 3 with level 1 money on the Browns spread. But since then, the money grew, but then the money flipped to the Steelers. Right now, this line's sitting at plus 3.5. I do see some Browns pro money in here, but yeah, not, like I said, not my favorite spread, but I would say if there is an underdog spot today, I think it might be for the Browns, and I do like the spread. So just, if there are any other games that you like, let me know. I'm happy to break it down and analyze, but I would say out of the entire slate, when there's really not a lot moving and everything is just so tight, this is what I like so far. And yeah, slim pickings today. Not a lot of games that are really like truly capturing my attention. So if there is anything, throw it in a chat. Let's talk about it. But it's been kind of slow just watching these numbers develop. Also, I have a great 2-minute drill coming up for you. And I think you'll like it. It's really about betting on NFL in the last few weeks and just how a lot of bettors overreact and the lines react. Yeah, I feel that, Wayne. I do. Yeah, I mean, traditionally, I would feel the same way too. It's only because of the line movement here, but I also don't really like how the line movement bounced back a little bit. You know, it started going in the right direction where it seemed like they were becoming closer and closer to favorites, but then when it moved from +3 to +3.5, you know, line pulling back just a little bit. I'm not sure. Let's analyze some of these games. Okay, so you're looking at San Francisco. Let's dive into this. Okay, so I mean it's sitting. I mean it opened up at -3, and it's just kind of sitting there right now. Um, let's just see if anything has changed. But I see most spots just holding it at -3.5. It's just kind of sitting there, and the money is pretty mixed from what I see at this very moment. I wish it was moving a little bit more, I would say, San Francisco. I mean, I do like that it's start moving 0.5 point on the spread in the right direction for them, but at this moment, I 100% would like to see it move just a little bit more. Yeah, this money is just so split. Also, it really doesn't look like Vegas is reacting to the money here. So it does seem like they're starting to move it, maybe, you know, anticipating some more money coming in. But we'll see. We'll see. Not nothing at this point that's really saying like the sports book is taking a position here just because they're holding this line tight, you know? All these lines, like, Well, Wayne, I use a variety of different websites, and then I kind of blend all the numbers together. I also use my own models as well, you know, using like ensemble techniques. But I would say overall, like a great place to look for, like, for example, opening line numbers. You know, let's just start there is like Sportsbook Review. I love checking out their website just to see like where's the real opening line, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of different websites will give you different opening lines, but that's just one off the top of my head that's like, you know, easy to access. But I also have like a whole list of websites and stuff like where, you know, to find these numbers and stuff like in my book here as well. Yeah, yeah, they do juice it a lot. So you want to look at this next game? Let's see what's going on here. Giants versus Raiders. So the Giants open up at -1.5, -105. Alrighty. And right now they're sitting at -2.5. Most spots, yeah, some spots have even moved it to -3, but that's like a sports book I don't really even recognize. The more established spots are just holding us at -2.5. So it is interesting seeing, you know, seeing how this line has moved out a point, you know, in the right direction for the New York Giants. But I would also say at this moment, the money is very mixed here. Like, I don't really see pro or Joe money showing up in either spot. But it is very, very mixed. So, yeah. I do think though this is something to watch. You know, the sports book is already moving this line. They're moving this line, really not based off of a lot of significant money, but you know, it is interesting. They are starting to move this line in the right direction for the Giants. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point in a season, it's important to really, you know, like understand what the team's motivations are, and you know, like see how they start reacting. That's what this whole 2 minute drill is about. So, if there are any other games you'd like me to analyze before we roll into this 2 minute drill, throw them in the chat right now. Otherwise, we're just gonna roll right into it. So Giants money line. At this point, I would say I don't feel super confident about this. You know, just seeing the spread, it is going in the right direction here. Seeing the money line, let's see. The Giants money line is currently sitting at, minus like 145, minus 150. Well, I don't really like taking money lines that are just like, I mean, even taking like a minus 140, I really hate to do. I just don't think there's like enough value there at this moment. So I would say, you know, maybe just hold off on that for now. The Jags spread. Let's take a look at that. All right. So it's currently sitting at -5. I see some spots, some established spots are still holding this at -4.5. It opened up at -7. I don't like the direction this is going. I'm gonna be totally honest here. Yeah, I just don't like the direction this line is going. Going from -7 to -5, -4.5. That line is not moving in the right direction. It's moving in the wrong direction. So yeah, it's, you know, not my favorite at this moment. And the money on this game does look pretty. Let me take a deeper dive into some of the money here. I mean, I do see a bit of money on the Jags, but at this point, with the line going in the opposite direction of the money, not my favorite. That's that's just my feeling right now. Okay, let's look at Tampa Bay, see what's going on here. So this line opened up at -5.5. Let's see where it is right now. And it's currently just sitting chilly, I would say, in most spots. Some spots have moved this to -5. Other spots are just sitting at -5.5. I would say, if anything, right now, I might just wait on this game. Yeah, this line is not, like I said, a lot of these lines are a little slow moving today. I would love to see a little bit more like action going on here. You know, Vegas taking a stand. But at this moment, the money is very evenly split, and they've only moved this literally a half a point since the open. So it is a tough card. I agree with that, Thomas. Yeah, I mean, sometimes things move in opposite directions, Super Pro. But that just happens. That happens. Any other games you guys would like me to analyze and break down? This is a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. I love breaking these down live on air. It's a lot of fun, especially because these numbers are changing. It's such a slow morning. But being able to break this down with you and just like take another look at these numbers, really see if anything develops. Ooh, okay, Bills versus Eagles. Let's talk about that game. All right, so the Bills did open up at -2.5, -110 right now. So that's where it opened up. And right now they are sitting at -3 in a lot of spots, -110. So it did move a half a point. The money looks super mixed. Let me just put my eye on, let me put my eye on this and just see if there's any other spots where it looks like maybe the money is, you know, moving, but man, across all the sports books it kind of looks about the same. Just very mixed on this game, but the line did move a half a point in the right direction for the Bills, so just keep that in the back of your mind, and we're gonna keep our eye on this one for now. Ooh, you're leaning towards the under in that game. You know what? Let's take a look at this total, see what's going on here. So it did open up at 44.5, -110 on the under, and currently at this moment the under is sitting at 44.5, -110 in a lot of spots. It does look like this line is set and chilly at this moment. So I don't really have an opinion here. The line's just kind of sitting here and the money's pretty mixed. Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Everything is tight to the number today, and they are not moving these lines. But you know what I've also noticed today is a lot of this money is very balanced, very mixed. So when a lot of the money, you know, isn't going to one side or the other, Vegas typically doesn't really feel the need to, you know, then take a side on a game unless they feel very, very confident in the game that it's going to go this way and that everybody is mispricing things. So, I mean, like I said, this technique of playing with a house, you know, the strategy that I've, you know, found using game theory, it works in a small percentage of games for sure. I'd say, you know, maybe 11 to 15% of games, and today is just one of those days where, you know, it's you know, trying to apply the strategy to these tight lines is hard, you know, and, you know, Vegas just really isn't taking a particular stand against, you know, any particular money because everything is so balanced. Hey David, welcome in. And I also think, you know, part of this is like Vegas, they just don't want to take a side when everything is so balanced and are happy with kind of how, you know, people are making their decisions. All right, so you like the Browns. You know what? I would say right now, the Browns, it does look like maybe this could be the best spread when really there aren't a lot of bets on the board that I like. So I'm taking this Browns spread. I think it does make sense. It is my favorite bet, like really when there aren't a lot of bets that I like today. That and really the over in this Cardinals-Bengals game. Those are the two that at this moment I'm just keeping my eye on, but I like them, I'd say comparatively to mostly everything else. So yeah, let's roll into the 2-minute drill and let's talk about betting, you know, the last few weeks in the NFL, and really how like it affects, you know, professional bettors and how you need to change your betting style, especially because a lot of the general public at this point is overreacting to narratives or even weather. You know, these are important things to pay attention to. Yeah, I think there are some sharps there in that round spread, so it's a good eye, Thomas, definitely. All right, let's roll on into this. I will be in the comments, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll reply to you right there. Or feel free to write me after the show. Of course, you guys always know how to reach me. My free daily emails, the daily report with all of the lines, my picks of the day, pictures of me every day, so much more. You can reply to any one of these emails just by going to arielcalista, click and stay in touch, reply to the daily report email. I'm always happy to answer you back, answer any questions you might have, or even if you just want to say hello. The final 3 weeks of the NFL season are unlike any other stretch in the betting calendar. If you approach them the same way you approach weeks 3 or 7, you're already behind. This is the point where the league stops being uniform and starts fracturing by motivation, incentives, and by information. Some teams are still fighting for playoff seeding, and others, they're clinging to the final wildcard spot, and a growing number are effectively playing a different game altogether, protecting starters, evaluating young players, or quietly positioning themselves for the draft. The standings might list all 32 teams the same way, but the incentives under the hood, they couldn't be more different. And the sportsbooks know this. By late December, lines are shaped less by raw power ratings and more by projected intent. Will a coach push for a win or pull starters at the first sign of trouble? Will a quarterback play through a minor injury or sit because the long-term risk outweighs the short-term reward? These decisions rarely show up cleanly on the injury report, but they move markets fast once confirmed or even rumored. Public bettors often overreact to urgency narratives. They must win becomes a reason to lay inflated spreads, even when a matchup doesn't support it. In reality, urgency increases variance. Teams pressing to win make aggressive fourth down decisions, take more risks, and sometimes unravel when things don't go their way. That can create opportunity for underdogs, especially when the market prices desperation as certainty. The final weeks also introduce volatility around rest. Teams with playoff spots locked in, they might rotate players unpredictably, especially if seeding can't realistically change. A line that looks fair on Monday can be unrecognizable by Sunday morning once the news breaks that a starter or several won't play a full game. Totals deserve special attention during this stretch as well. Cold weather, conservative play calling, and backup quarterbacks often pull scoring expectations lower, sometimes for a good reason, and sometimes too far. Understanding which teams will lean into ball control versus which will let young players air it out is critical. Above all, this is a time to be selective. Passing on games is a skill and not a failure. The edge in the final 3 weeks comes from recognizing when the market is guessing and waiting for the moments when incentives, information, and pricing finally line up. I hope you guys enjoyed that 2-minute drill. That was a lot of fun to make, and I'm glad you guys liked it. Thank you. So yeah, just a little bit of insight into betting, especially these final few weeks, and just, you know, how everything changes. Thank you so much. I love these emojis. Alrighty, so let's dive into some other sports. Really, it's been so slow, both in college basketball. If there are any games that you see moving that you would like me to dive into, let me know. I mean, I know there are a few big games today in college basketball. But wow, so slow. I have not seen any of these lines moving so far, so maybe we'll just skip ahead to the NBA. But like I said, throw it in a group chat if you see anything. So moving on to the NBA, and by the way, if you guys have picks that you like or plays that you like, throw them out there. I truly do think like when we all are, you know, throwing out our plays and sharing knowledge, that's really when you find these gems. So that is special. The Richmond Spiders. All right, I will take a look. I'm like, wait a second, where's Eric to analyze the Richmond Spiders? I remember last year, was it even last year? Maybe even like 2 years ago during Smokeless Bread. I think one of the most coveted seriously, one of the most coveted prizes to win was like a Richmond Spiders t-shirt. All right, so let me take a look at this. So the spread did open up at minus 12.5. And right now I see it sitting at minus 11.5. So it isn't quite going in the right direction here. But let me take a look at some of this money, really see like, are there some plays in here? Is there some sharp money that's just not being accounted for? So, not a lot of money on the Richmond Spiders, but let's see. So, I do see a bit of money showing up on Charleston. I mean, considering that went from plus 12.5 to plus 11.5, and it does seem like there is a little bit of money starting to show up there on Charleston. It is looking pretty strong. Okay, so looking at the total, I see the total is actually sitting at like 159, 160 and a half in a lot of spots right now, which that is pretty interesting. It opened up at 154.5, so it does look like a bit of money is starting to go towards the over here. And just looking at the money here, I would say this qualifies as like level 2, level 3 money at this moment. So that is a good find. Yeah. I like how this total is moving. Well, we got the full analysis of the game. That is a-okay. You know, because it does look like, you know, I'd even keep my eye on Charleston as well, just on the spread, which is starting to move. But at this moment, I do think you're right. I think this over is looking like another nice little play. I mean, that is a pretty significant move, you know, moving 6 points and a lot of spots towards the over. And with the money also, level 3 money, I would say, on the over right now. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Oh, it's okay, Ben. Welcome in. Oh, really? You almost went to the game. Amazing. That would have been fun for sure. Yeah, that game, not a lot going on. The lines are kind of just stuck where they are at this moment, so I don't have a solid play in that game tonight. I'm just kind of letting it be as it is. It will be a fun one to watch, though. It will be fun to watch. But yeah, I think this over here is looking really good. So I would say anything. Yeah. Richmond Spiders, Charleston over, looking pretty solid right now. Are there any other games in college basketball that you'd like me to analyze, or we could just move right on into the NBA? I've seen a little bit of movement, but everything here is slow as well. And this spread opened up at, you know, looking at this Kings-Lakers game, I would say that's the only thing the only thing that I've seen really moving in the NBA so far is this Kings-Lakers 9:40 p.m. Eastern game. It went from Lakers minus 11.5 to minus 13.5 on some Kings money, but nothing that's really speaking to me at this moment. And a lot of the other spreads, I mean, and totals have just been, it's been very slow. That is crazy. Yeah. Philly fans get a little wild, that's for sure. I know, they always have to grease the poles, and then people hurt themselves because they still try to climb the poles after they grease it, and then, I don't know, it's just a whole mess. It really is. Even in hockey, I really didn't see a lot going on today. So feel free to throw in any picks that you like, anything that you think is interesting. We'll analyze it on air, but at this moment, I know we have a full slate of games, but it just doesn't look like Vegas is taking a strong stand really anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's sad stuff when, you know, people get hurt just while they're trying to celebrate and have a good time. We don't want to see that here. We want to celebrate responsibly, wager responsibly, you know, just be careful. I did see a video of that in Santa. Philly fans attacking Santa. Come on. That was crazy. So crazy. Yeah. So, all right. Do you guys have any other games in the NBA, NHL, college basketball you'd like me to break down and analyze? Otherwise, that's about that. Not a lot going on here today. It really is crazy. Yeah, I mean, if you're not wearing the Philly, I've heard the Eagles jersey that everybody wears, or Eagles hoodie. It's called the Philly tuxedo around here. And I think that's a funny name. It's like, as soon as I say it to people, like, they immediately know what I'm talking about. Will I leave Philly when I'm done with school? You know, most of my classes are online. I actually moved out here for business, to set up, like, you know, my East Coast warehouse, all of that. So I don't think I'm going to leave necessarily, but I do want to move to Europe one day. That's the goal. Get out of here, move to France, move to Europe. Yeah, that would be really nice. But I don't know. I like it. I like, you know, being out here on the East Coast a lot. Like, compared to Vegas, you know, it's nice having, you know, all four seasons versus just like hot and cold. Yes, the movie. I did take French like in high school and college, so I just really like that whole area. France, Europe. It's different out there. Different, you know, different pace, different lifestyle, beautiful architecture everywhere. I don't think I would get tired of it. But I don't know. I like traveling the world, seeing all kinds of places. You know, my family has always been taking me like you know, to different spots around the world ever since I was a kid. So that's why I like seeing the world. You know, I've gone from everywhere from like the Galapagos Islands to like Vietnam to, you know, all kinds of places. But I would really like to go, you know, probably live over in Europe. Ari in Paris versus Emily in Paris. I love that TV show. I've been watching it all the time. I'm almost done with the latest season. Um, I also liked her excursion into Rome too. That was fun. All right, well, those are all of the plays that I like for today. Let's do an AI deep dive and start talking about AI some more, just kind of building upon the foundations that we learned last time. So just to refresh everyone's memory, you know, we all learned that AI is basically one umbrella term for everything from, you know, generative AI, which is basically generating images that you've never seen before, like ChatGPT is a generative AI, you know, because it's generating text, you know, and putting it in brand new text that hasn't existed before. Then there's also things like machine learning models. You know, these are things that, you know, like I was talking about earlier, creating, you know, an ensemble model where, you know, you could take all of these different kinds of machine learning models and then, you know, basically compile them into finding the best model, or, you know, what's the best technique at that moment. Neural networks. All of this stuff, even computer vision, all of this falls under the term AI. And that's why, you know, people throw around the word AI left, right, and center, and it gets very confusing. And then last week we started learning about some of the Python fundamentals, because, you know, Python is really the computer programming language where, you know, it has all of these libraries and, you know, access to, you know, all these different things like the LangChain community, for example. You know, a lot of this stuff is built like within Python. So last week we went over a lot of the different data types. Like integers, we understood that, you know, that's basically just, you know, a full number versus a float, which is a number with a decimal. Just to bring it back up again, you know, we learned about variables, how you need a equal sign and then something after the equal sign. Super important. We learned about strings, which is literally just the text, you know, writing anything in quotes, any sentence, you could say hello world in quotes, and that is a string. We learned about integers, the whole numbers, floats, the decimal, it is just integers with a decimal, that's a float. And we also learned about Boolean, true or false. So pretty easy, right? We are just building upon this foundation today. So I made another little presentation for you guys. So now we're really talking about logic and decision. So now that we understand the different data types, understanding, you know, just how Python uses logic is incredibly important. And I think this also helps highlight how, you know, really like once you start looking at it and understanding how it works, it becomes less scary and more like, oh, this is like reading English. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so if statements. Let me just scoot over here a little bit. See. I'm just gonna move the chat over just a little bit. Okay, sorry guys. All right, and then I'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so if statements. This is just basically saying like, if this condition is true, then do this. So as you can see here in this example, so we basically said like the score is 44, score equals 44. So basically if the score is greater than 40, print, and that's, you know, our way of telling Python to print out this message. And then as you can see here, big scoring game is a string, because it's in quotes. So then, you know, if the score is greater than 40, which it is, it's 44, you're going to get the output of big scoring game. So pretty easy so far. You know, it's basically saying if this, then do this. So not too complicated. Feel free to write any questions you have. And let's move on to the next one. Else statements. So like if the if statement isn't true, then if you want it to do something else other than just not printing anything, you have to give it an else. So like let's say for example the score is 27, but we have like if the score is greater than 40, then we're going to have it say print big scoring game. That's going to be the output there. Or else if it is not greater than 40, then it's going to print low scoring game. So basically we're saying if it is greater than 40, print big scoring game. If it isn't, print low scoring game. Pretty good so far, right? I think we're all following this. You know, I do want to go at like a slow pace just so we really start understanding this, but I would say right now this is kind of like reading English in a lot of ways, or you know, I mean just understanding logic principles. It's kind of the foundation of everything. Okay, so now it does step up a little bit from here with elif. So use elif for more choices, else if. But we write it in Python because everything, you know, we like to shorten. A lot of coders, we like to shorten things. Absolutely. Classes in session. Python coders, we like to shorten things. You know, make it easy. So using elif is great for just more choices. So let's look at our original example. So now the score is 40 on a game. So if the score is greater than 40, we are printing big scoring game. If the score is equal to 40, then we're going to print right on the number. Or else, so which means it is not greater than 40 and it is not equal to 40, we're going to print low scoring game. So pretty easy, right? So we have, yeah, if, else, and elif. So I think that just kind of helps build upon, you know, our basic understanding of Python, you know, just understanding how to use logic and how these computer programs make decisions. And yeah, that is it. That is what we're covering today. You know, just keeping it really simple. And of course, if there are any questions, ask me. You know, I'm happy to go back over anything. And yeah, I think just understanding that will really help you understand like how these computer programs work, and then just to, you know, really speed us up go into the future here. Like when you start creating like even agents and you want like an agent to follow like a certain function or maybe output a certain template, and you want everything to, I don't know, like you could have agents, for example, onboard a new hire, you know, by doing a background check and then bringing in the materials and getting them set up with this and that, and, you know, going through like all the logical steps. You know, if you want to create like your own functions, like it really starts with like understanding how these logic things work. Because, you know, like let's say you have a piece of the system that's failing, you kind of need to know where it is. When did I realize I was adept at math and computer logic coding? Was there a specific... Actually, this was just an interest of mine. Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, I would say like right after ChatGPT came out, I started exploring with it. And I realized like at this moment, even though like I went to school, you know, for business, like that was my main concentration and focus. You know, and I did have computer classes and stuff like along the way. I realized that this is great, but I need to learn how to do this myself. So I actually went and approached different people, even some big YouTubers I'm not going to name any specific names, but even some big name YouTubers, and kind of said like, hey, I want to learn this. I would join their like GPT schools and things like that. But I found along the way that a lot of them just didn't really, they didn't really know what they were talking about. They're having, ChatGPT write all of their code. And I was just kind of tired of not really like seeing any progress. So I decided, I'm going to start taking classes with, the University of Texas. And then I really found that this was something I was interested in. And I think, when, you're interested in something, you become even better at it. I think it kind of goes hand in hand together. Otherwise you're just doing it for, could be for whatever purpose. Like maybe you feel obligated to do it, maybe you have your friends or family trying to tell you to do something, but if you have a passion for it, yeah, that yeah, lots of people in the AI YouTube space that are just, they're just pretending, they're making AI, betting bots using ChatGPT, and at the end of the day, like, you should have a good understanding of, like real machine learning to make something that's good and accurate. Yeah, kind of like the beekeeping. I want to start keeping some bees, hopefully this spring. Hopefully this spring I'll have some bees in my yard, making my own honey. That would be amazing. But yeah, just, it wasn't something that I really like thought of like early on, like when I was in high school. I didn't really want to do the whole coding thing, but then, as AI started getting popular, I realized nobody out there really is, knows how to do it. There's a lot of people out there saying they know how to do it. A lot of people out there talking about it for sure. But having the fundamentals, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first started with University of Texas, I was like, this is the hardest class I've ever taken in my life, and I'm used to like hard classes. I went to private school growing up, so I'm used to like being challenged, but it was a different kind of challenge, and I found that I like the challenge. I'm gonna rise to the occasion, and yeah, I liked it. So that's kind of my story on how I got started with AI. Do I think Grok is better than ChatGPT? I would say at this moment in time, I think both have their strengths and weaknesses. Like, I haven't used Grok all that much, but I do like that it is a little bit less censored than a lot of these AIs out there. I do think that in a lot of ways we've gone a little bit overboard with censorship, especially considering like, just how, there are so many like, people of majority age that are using AI to like really censor everything so heavily all the time is kind of crazy. Yeah. Thanks, man. And yeah, I think Grok is cool in that like it's a little less censored. But I would say overall, like, all of these models have different strengths and weaknesses. And at the end of the day, I think really like understanding how to work AI and program AI yourself so that you actually can get all these different functions out of it. Like, there's so many different things that it can do, especially when you start setting up these multi-agent systems where, you could have one be the writer, you could have one, kind of be the coder, you could have one be the image generator, and then one be like the supervisor, pulling it all together. Every AI is giving each other feedback, etc. I think that's really cool. That's what interests me about AI. And I think right now at this stage, a lot of people out there are still just using like these LLMs, and I think once you really like pull it all together into something bigger, like that's where, like, I guess for what people would typically call like enterprise grade AI, you know, I think that's where it gets really interesting, because then it takes over a lot of these like repetitive business functions, like for example onboarding new hires, things like that. That's where AI I think really gets interesting, you know, where it could start like validating itself and all of that. I would say at the moment in time, I wish LLMs were a little bit more like advanced to do that, so that anybody could do that and build these like complex systems. But I just don't think we are there yet at this moment. Though I did notice like OpenAI, when I was looking at, you know, when I was looking at their website, that they have this whole thing where you can actually just, it almost seems like Figma. You guys have used Figma. It's a popular UI UX design software, but I noticed they have this thing almost like Figma where you can start like setting up different agents and having them all work together, and then setting up different sequences, like, you know, whether you want the sequential pattern or a round robin kind of pattern or supervisor kind of thing. So yeah. Absolutely. AI has definitely replaced effort with leverage. That is true. That is true. I think AI like has allowed me to kind of offload some of my work onto it, which is really good. You know, and then you really can get it to be accurate and consistent, and output the same thing over and over and over again. Like if, you know, you set it up properly, you know, and having the right, you know, fundamentals with Python, like that's the base of this. You know, a lot of these functions that we're learning with logic, like once you, you know, basically, you know, add decorators to this, you could add this to your agents so that they follow these like specific, you know, coding procedures. And I mean, that's the foundations of, you know, creating like a multi-agent system is right there. So yeah. Well, let's go over all of the games that I like again for today. It has been a little bit of a slower day, so just looking back at the NFL, I like this over in this Cardinals-Bengals game. The Browns spread, I still really like. I really like this still, even though there just aren't a lot of plays that I like. And finally, I would say this over in this Charleston Southern Richmond Spiders game. That's what I really like. Not a lot of games that are super interesting to me today. I wish there were more for sure. But at this moment, nothing much. I will be posting, you know, just doing another analysis on all the numbers, posting that in the daily report. So make sure to sign up if you haven't already by going to arielcalista.com, clicking the stay in touch button. I also have it pinned in my YouTube and Rumble chat, like right at the top, the link to just go and join. And yeah, if you have any other questions for me, you want to learn more about AI or have specific topics you would like me to cover in the next Sports Betting Illuminated episode, let me know. Thanks, Ken. I really appreciate all of you joining me today. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful winning day. And just to let you know, we will be off the 1st and the 4th for the holidays. So I hope you guys enjoy the time off, and I will see you all after that. We'll be back on January 8th. And Jeff will be on the stream, so, and no more broken streams like last time. I'm excited to talk to him about soccer, really dive into how he's been able to, you know, find these plays, you know, even with the synthetic draws, are all of these interesting, unique things that he found being a data guy himself, and not really even starting as a huge soccer fan, but being a data guy and, you know, his approach. I think it's going to be a fascinating episode, so make sure to join me January 8th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good luck today on all of your wagers, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful winning day, and good luck. See you all next time.